Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Neely. I'm the face behind a classroom journey and I'm sharing my life on YouTube and Instagram. I hope that you stick around, hit that subscribe button and follow me if this is something that interests you and inspires you, and I hope that you follow me on Instagram so you can see some of the behind the scenes that I do in and out of the classroom. So I'll leave my handle here so that you can follow me over on my Instagram, and I post a lot more content on there as well. I actually had a friend of mine reach out and she asked me about some classroom management strategies, so I thought today I would sit down and discuss a few of those and discuss what worked in my classroom and what works in other classrooms as well if you want to have effective behavior. In my classroom, I implemented a chart that had emojis and bitmojis. So I had like a happy face, like a question marked face, and a sad face, of course, and that was depicting good behavior, a warning, and then needing improvement. So I used that strategy and it seemed to work okay, but in the end, rewarding your kids for good behavior is important because it implements the positive attitude. One of the things that I did in my classroom was I gave out Skittles and Starburst at the end of the day if my kids had a good day, or if I saw them doing something that was extra special, I would give one to those students, and that really made other students think about what they could do to get that same reward. As for being quiet, I would implement quiet critters in my classroom, so each kid would get like a desk pet. This meant that they would use this desk pet at their seat. This pet was allowed to sit at their desk all day unless they were being really loud. I would say that the pets did not like noise and they were loud, and then the pet would get taken away, put somewhere else, and they were not allowed to have it. Also implementing being quiet when we were moving into other areas of our school, I would implement using the quiet game. So if I knew that a student was being really well when we were walking in the hallway, if that was going to the bathroom, then I would pick that student specifically to do my quiet game at the bathroom, so they would get to start the quiet game. This was actually something that really helped. I did not think that my kids would be that much into playing the quiet game, but I had all my kids always asking me if they could start it. It became a strategy for me that if my kids were listening and they were doing their best when we were walking and transitioning from our classroom to the bathroom or wherever that may be, then that student who I saw doing the best behavior was the one that got to start the quiet game when we sat down. Also, playing the quiet game was a reward system for them, but it was also allowing them to be quiet while we were sitting at the bathroom so that we were not disrupting any of the other classrooms around us, and that really helped my students stay focused on being quiet and lowered the volume a lot. My kids were doing really well. Sometimes that meant that they got to pick their own seat, or they got to sit beside their best friend, or I would implement a little bit of extra center time or whatever. Giving them that reward and knowing that that is something that they can look forward to was really helpful with my kids, and they would listen and they would be on their best behavior. Another thing that I would like to implement in my classroom that I did some this year was that for each holiday, so for Halloween it was a jack-o'-lantern, for Valentine's Day it was a heart, for Christmas it was like a little elf or something. Those would be our little watch buddies, so they would be watching my kids. They were hanging up above my board, and when they were watching and my kids were doing good, I would reward them with like a special snack or something like that. My kids were a lot like me and they loved to eat, so I would implement special snacks or bringing in cookies or something like that if they had had a good week or a good month, whatever. It was really inexpensive, but I also rewarded them for their good behavior. I know that some other classrooms do this with older kids. For my kids, it probably wasn't something that they could really comprehend, but filling up like a jar with a bunch of beans or something until they got to the top is another really awesome thing, and then once they got to the top they got a reward. I mean, my class could have done that, I just never implemented it, but I think that's an awesome strategy. Another thing that I think is cool is to do the teacher versus students game. So when the teacher is watching their students and the students do something good and they get a point, if the teacher sees that the students are being loud or whatever, the teacher gets a point, and then whoever wins at the end of the day gets a reward. Or you could do the end of the week or month or whatever worked out for you, however much you wanted to do your reward. I think that every classroom is different, every year is different, every month can be different. So when you are implementing these strategies, you may have to change them throughout the school year or for each different class that you have every year, because you're bringing in a whole new group of students, and this obviously means that you're going to have a whole new group of behaviors. Obviously this means that you have to look into your students, observe your students, get relationships with your students to know them better, make those connections, and then you can have a positive impact on your students. If your students know that you care, then you will make a bigger difference in their behavior, and they may not act out as much because they know that you care about them. But overall, I think it is up to the teacher to show the kids that learning is fun and school is fun, so that they come to school ready to learn and not be willing to distract the class or distract your teacher. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you stick around, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye guys.